Under Zhang Yi's command, Shu Chunlei slowly released the dangerous arrow, almost scared enough to wet his pants. In this era, where human life is like grass, the enemy won't care if you live or die. Zhang Yi also used his superpowers, believing the arrow might be planted with microbombs. To be safe, he created a separate space and absorbed the arrow into it. Upon closer inspection, he found something resembling a letter at the tail of the arrow. Despite not finding anything special, Zhang Yi didn't dare to be careless. He activated another ability to wrap himself up and planned to take the arrow back for K-Air to study, checking first if it was poisoned. Zhang Yi glanced at Shu Chunlei and said, "Throw your gloves. If the arrow has a problem, your life could end here." Shu Chunlei, not being stupid, had already planned to throw away the gloves before Zhang Yi spoke. After hearing Zhang Yi, he threw his gloves far away. Zhang Wei returned to the laboratory with his findings. Upon locating Zhou Ke-er, he asked her to check if the arrow was dangerous. After Zhou Ke-er gave the test results, she teased him for being overly cautious. Since they chose arrows, they wouldn't use such despicable methods, she said. Zhang Yi remained calm, responding, "Being careful makes you less dangerous. When you're most relaxed is when enemies want to kill you the most." Uncle Vu agreed with Zhang Yi, noting that battlefield changes are unpredictable and not paying attention could be fatal. Zhou Ke-er, although thinking they were too careful, put on gloves cautiously, acknowledging that professionals should handle professional tasks. She concocted a drug in the lab and dropped the potion on the arrow. Soon everyone was scared into a cold sweat as the arrow's color changed significantly, revealing it was indeed poisoned. Shu Chunlei was the most afraid, worried that touching the arrow would have killed him. Others were more composed, knowing that Zhang Yi's caution was justified. Zhou Ke-er covered the arrow with a red cloth, accidentally discovering some text on it. She informed Zhang Yi, who, along with others, gathered to see the cloth. The text was a string of codes that none of them understood. Zhang Yi called Yang Xinxian, who recognized the characters as an address linked to the Yangsheng base. Zhang Yi cautiously asked if it was safe to contact them. Yang Xinxian, confident, reassured him it was safe with her around. Liang Yue then interrupted, suspecting these might be the people who kidnapped her students. Zhang Yi, choosing not to conceal any longer, confirmed her suspicions. Liang Yue, anxious, urged to contact them quickly to understand their intentions. Zhang Yi theorized that the other party wanted to negotiate and test his strength, achieving multiple goals. He decided to take this opportunity to perform in front of Liang Yue and squeeze the last bit of value out of those students. Zhang Yi immediately told Miss Liang, "Let's talk to them now, at least see who the other party is." Liang Yue, touched by his commitment to rescuing the students, listened as Zhang Yi pointed out the gravity of the situation. He asked her to only monitor and not show too much concern for the students, to avoid giving the other party leverage. Liang Wei pondered briefly, then nodded firmly, agreeing to follow his request. Soon, everyone gathered in the living room. Yang Xinxian opened her laptop and performed a few simple operations to make contact. Then she put the computer in front of Zhang Yi and gave him a look that said, "You can tease as much as you like. There is no way the other party can hack into our system." Just then, a woman's voice came from the computer. "You really kept me waiting. It seems that you are Zhang Yi?" Zhang Yi's expression was cold. "Looks like you've already investigated me. Let's not speak in riddles. Which base are you carrying?" Xiao Honglian did not hide. She said she was in charge of the Yangsheng district, but in the next second, her tone became colder. "The subordinate I sent to the Hongyuan material factory. It should have been killed by you, right?" Zhang Yi did not reply directly. Instead, he asked, "The students who were taken from Sujiazhen village yesterday, did you do it?" Neither side answered the other's question directly, but the tension was evident. This wave of operations obviously angered Xiao Honglian. She shouted, "Zhang Yi, how dare you kill my subordinates? In all of Amami City, no one dares to oppose me. Looks like you're tired of living." Zhang Yi smiled disdainfully. "I'm really familiar with this threat. Seems like the last person to talk to me like that turned to ashes. You may have heard his name, Chen Xinian." Although Zhang Yi's words were somewhat threatening, Xiao Honglian was not scared. "Do you see me as a 3-year-old child? The fall of Xishan base was directly related to Nike missiles. You are just a small force. Where would you get a rocket from? I'm not an idiot. Do you think you understand? Then why don't you think about it carefully? Did the missile at Xishan base come out of thin air?" Xiao Honglian's tone remained consistent. "You are just a supervisor in a small warehouse. How could you have enough energy to call missiles? If you say it, go out and see if anyone will believe it." At this moment, Zhang Yi was too lazy to continue the nonsense. "Don't bother to test it anymore. Did you think I would tell you? I hope you see reality. Don't mess with me. Better get away from me. Since I can kill your first batch of people, I can kill the second batch and take down your lair. It just depends on my mood." He glanced at Liang Wei, who was anxious. "You'd better send back the students you took away. Don't blame me for not warning you. I have the ability to destroy your base." Upon hearing this, Xiao Honglian was completely furious. She was still one of the major powers in Amami City, the leader of one of the largest organizations. No one had ever threatened her so arrogantly. "If you are really that good, the whole of Tianhai City would long be your territory. You don't have to be crazy with me. Believe it or not, I'll kill them all right now and send their bodies back to you. I advise you not to do such a stupid thing. Those students mean nothing to me. I just can't bear to see them homeless." Xiao Honglian smiled indifferently. "Why should I listen to you? You seem a little nervous about the lives of those students. Maybe I guessed right." Seeing the situation, Zhang Yi immediately pretended to be embarrassed. He just wanted Liang Yue to watch and be convinced that he was torn, all to help save those students. Then Zhang Yi sighed. Talk about this. How on earth are you going to let those students go? At this moment, Xiao Honglian's eyes became brighter and brighter. She was certain that she had grasped Zhang Yi's weakness. She decided to take this as an invitation to get some benefits from Zhang Yi, but she knew she had to grasp this opportunity carefully, similar to letting Zhang Yi live a long life. It doesn't make any sense. Because this is not intended to be a direct declaration of war, she chose to test Zhang Yi's bottom line first. Then she heard Xiao Honglian say, Zhang Yi, you killed my cousin and my subordinates. Now your students are in my hands again. If you want someone, just exchange the supplies in your hand. I hope you don't try to deceive me. The supplies from the South China warehouse, we all know they're in your hands. I don't want much, just give me half of it. After that, we'll write it off. From now on, we will be good allies. After listening to it, Zhang Yi rejected her without thinking. Even if it was acting for Liang Yue, it was impossible for him to agree to such an unreasonable request. After all, this problem, in Zhang Yi's opinion, was just to test his own strength. If he agreed to her request, then the sanctuary was bound to come under intense attack. Handing over even half of the supplies was an extremely stupid thing to do. At that time, half of the remaining supplies would also be robbed. But at this moment, Xiao Honglian expressed her toughness. If you don't agree to my request, the only path that greets you is war. However, Zhang Yi smiled carelessly. Are you saying that you are stronger than Zishan base? Xiao Honglian sneered. Don't pretend in front of me. Your battle with Zishan base must have really hurt you. And as far as I know, the people you killed were not just from our Yang Sheng base. Aren't you afraid that I will ally with another base? Chao Yu base will attack you together. I'd like to see how you fight the alliance between our two bases. Zhang Yi laughed. That's what you think. It seems that you really don't know anything about my strength. I kindly remind you, if you plan to come and die, I'd be happy to do it for you. You will definitely pay for your arrogance. Zhang Yi then continued to act as a professional actor. I still hope we will let go of old resentments. Fighting and killing is not good for either of us, so you'd better send those students back to me. The more Zhang Yi said that, the more suspicious Xiao Honglian became. She also gave Zhang Yi an ultimatum. Unless you accept my terms, it's off the table. At this moment, Zhang Yi pretended to be angry and said to Xiao Honglian, don't go too far. Those students are innocent. If you were a woman, you would fight me. Although he said so, in his heart he was thinking, get rid of those students quickly. Do you know how tired I am from acting? Don't give me face, just kill them. But at this time, Xiao Honglian hung up the phone. You could tell by the tone of her voice at the end that she was going to torture those students. Seeing the scene, Zhang Yi pretended to be angry and said, these people really deserve to die. They really want to kill those innocent students. Subsequently, Zhang Yi said that this could no longer continue. He was about to set off for Yangsheng base to rescue people. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the house was dumbfounded. He then tried to emphasize, this time is different from before. The right time, place, and people are not on our side. And this has nothing to do with you, so don't go there. Everybody heard Zhang Yi say that. Only a few people who knew Zhang Yi better felt a little weird, but Zhang Yi made a decision to go to Sheng base. That was like suicide. Of course, they had to stop him. So a group of people rushed over to stop Zhang Yi, especially Zhang Yi's two beautiful women. They came to him immediately and hugged him tightly. Please don't go. Do you want us to be widows? They pleaded. At this moment, Shu Chunlei silently said, Boss, you acted very well. It won't end well if it goes on like this. After that, Zhang Yi continued acting. He sighed silently. It's all my fault. I wasn't paying attention to the students and let them be kidnapped. Damn, I once promised Liang Yue that I would always help her protect her students. I really underestimated these people. This scene moved Liang Yue. She specially walked to Zhang Yi's side. Do not be impulsive. It's not your fault. I can only blame myself for not protecting them well. Watching you all work so hard to help me, I'm really happy. But I really don't want to drag you all down. You've done your best. After saying that, Liang Yue turned around and walked upstairs. Zhang Yi asked Liang Yue loudly from behind, what do you want to do? Liang Yue smiled silently. Don't worry about me. I want to find a home for my own soul. Seeing this, Zhou Qier couldn't help but mutter to Zhang Yi, she doesn't want to save people by herself, does she? It turned out that just after Liang Yue left, Zhang Yi touched his chin. Didn't I just impress her? Shu Chunlei came to comfort him. Boss, you did a really good job, but it just looks so fake. Hearing Shu Chunlei complain, Zhang Yi felt heartbroken. I once received an award from a kindergarten third prize in the performance competition. Shu Chunlei sighed. The point is that the question coming out of your mouth makes us feel magical. Zhang Yi looked around and saw everyone nodding silently. Zhang Yi was speechless. It seems my acting talent is so high, but at least I expressed my support for her. That's all I can do. Uncle Vu shook his head. In fact, she can't blame us for this. Except for the promise of herself, who else has anything to do with those students? Besides, in my opinion, those students are not worth saving at all. It's been so long since the end of the world came, and they can't learn to fend for themselves. Such people will only be trouble in the end. Seeing this, Zhang Yi said, let's stop this here as long as you all know, but we must be ready for war. Don't be too nervous. Our defense measures were ready a few days ago. At this time, Lu Keran looked in the direction Liang Yue had left, with some concern. Then she asked, Boss, don't we need to take care of Miss Liang? Zhang Yi thought about it and decided to let Yang Xinxin and Lu Keran persuade her. He was also afraid that Liang Yue would do something stupid. If so, what he did was meaningless. On the other side, Liang Yue returned to her room. She had been wiping her side knife, which she captured at Xishan base. It was perfect for farmers. Just as she was in a trance, Yang Xinxin and Lu Keran opened the door and walked in. Teacher Liang, are you all right? We were worried about you and came to have a look, Yang Xinxin said. Seeing her own student, Liang Yue revealed a happy smile, then took a deep breath. I'm fine. I just suddenly figured it out. I know what I should do. Yang Xinxin looked at Liang Yue. Do you want to go fight alone to rescue those students? The other side is a large organization. You can't save them by going there alone. You can only die in vain. Liang Yue understood this truth. She looked up at the sky. But anyway, I can't ignore the lives of my students. Lu Keran, angry and concerned, hurriedly said, Teacher Liang, don't worry. Didn't my boss say that he will help you solve the problem? Hearing this, she smiled gently. Don't think the teacher is stupid. Zhang Yi has helped me too much. I am very grateful to him, but I know he wouldn't risk anything for those students. Although I know what he said is false, I'm still glad he's willing to do it. At least it lets me see that he cares about me. At this time, Lu Keran's expression was a little awkward. Sure enough, Zhang Yi's acting did not deceive Liang Yue. However, Yang Xinxin's eyes suddenly flashed with light. She lowered her head and said in a low voice, It's not like that. If Teacher Liang leaves, maybe Yang Xinxin won't live long. As soon as this sentence came out, Liang Yue didn't seem to understand. What do you mean by that? Make it clear to me. If anyone dares to bully you, I will never forgive them lightly. Teacher Liang, you misunderstood. No one bullies Yang Xinxin, but my boss told me to keep you as much as possible because you are very important to him. So if I can't handle this little thing, even if my boss doesn't say anything, I will have no face to stay in the shelter in the future. If you insist on leaving, just take Yang Xinxin with you. In this way, even after you die, we'll follow you right away. You won't have to worry about it anymore. At this moment, Liang Yue's mind was confused due to the huge amount of information. She didn't know what to do, but she just said she would fight for her heart. Now you can't take back what you said. However, Yang Xinxin's next words were textbook level. She said with a pitiful look, You could die for them. Why can't you live for me and Lu Keran? Teacher Liang, we need you. Liang Yue's heart trembled even more. But I can't just watch other people die. Hearing this, Yang Xinxin said with tears in her eyes, The reason why they are alive now is all thanks to you. If you die, we really have no time to negotiate with Yang Sheng base. Therefore, teacher, you must put the overall situation first. After much persuasion from the two students, Liang Yue temporarily gave up on her desperate plan to go to Yang Sheng base. After seeing that Liang Yue was stabilized, Lu Keran pushed Yang Xinxin out of her room. After going out, all the expressions on Yang Xinxin's face disappeared instantly, and she was back to the calm girl. However, Lu Keran gossiped in Yang Xinxin's ear. Asked the boss, does he really like our teacher Liang? Yang Xinxin's mouth raised a smile. Fake, I just lied to her. Don't you know our teacher Liang yet? Only by disrupting her inner thoughts do we have a chance to convince her to stay. Lu Keran's eyes widened. Good guy, so you are playing tricks with teacher Liang. You almost had me fooled, Yang Xinxin said disapprovingly. I'm doing all this for her own good. This stupid woman is going to die if we don't say a word. It's so annoying. She paused for a moment, then said meaningfully, If Liang Yue could stay, it's definitely good for both of us because my boss will not raise idlers. As soon as this sentence came out, Lu Keran immediately felt cold all over, because she remembered the first time the two met Zhang Yi. At that time, there was no warmth in his eyes.